Hello and welcome. In this video, we will demonstrate some new library export capabilities available with the 2022.2 release of Typhoon HIL Control Center. In previous releases, we've highlighted features that let you create, share, and update your own user libraries of components and widgets in both Schematic Editor and HIL SCADA. This feature update radically simplifies library sharing, and includes options to protect your intellectual property by encrypting the shared library. Now, you can pack a library with all its dependency files included. These dependencies include different kinds of resource files such as images, icons, handlers, and of course other libraries. Additionally, you can now choose to encrypt resource files along with the library itself during the library export process. In order to make your user library portable, it is necessary to link different resources using relative paths. With the new library context-independent frame, resource files are now correctly linked regardless of the library file type. It is important to mention that even though the library and its dependencies are packaged into a single @lib file, the original file hierarchy will be preserved. Also, there is an option to pack multiple libraries in a single export, in case they depend on each other. Lastly, accessing resource files can be done easily just by calling the handler function open. This function uses relative paths to the common root defined in the Get Library Resource Directory Path Schematic API function. Let's look at a practical example. As we can see, in the original library folder we have the old library together with one FMU and one SVG file dependency. We will use components from this library to make a completely new library. In Schematic Editor, click on File, New, create a new library. In the library name, let's type New Library, click Next, and then Finish. Now, let's add a new category Schematic Canvas and name it DERs. Inside the category we will create a new component. Let's insert a control algorithm together with the PV panel and inverter components from the old library. By selecting both components and right-clicking on one of them, we open the context menu. Inside it, we click on Create Subsystem from Selection. Now the new component is created. Let's rename the component to PV Plant. In the Mask Editor we can define the icon image of the new component. Now that the new library is created, let's save it. Now we can export the library. In the Export Library dialog there are several options. You can lock the top level of components, encrypt the library, and encrypt resource files. Please note that even though it is not possible to look inside the locked component, this option is not providing library encryption itself. So it is still possible to access the details of the library by opening it in Text Editor. Let's keep all the boxes checked, so we have a higher level of protection. Now, let's also add the resource files. For this library we need the FMU and SVG files. It is worth mentioning that we don't need to add any libraries as dependencies, since they will be added automatically. Let's export the library in the Exported Library folder. Now, let's click the Export button. As you can see, the library is exported successfully and the exported archive contains 2 resource files. Now, if we go to the Exported Library folder we can see that the @lib file is generated. This file contains all necessary dependencies and its content is protected by the encryption algorithm, so it can be easily and safely shared. Lastly, let's modify the library path to include the exported library and reload the libraries. If we insert a PV Plant component from New Library we can see the connection between the icon image and all its dependencies is preserved. In this tutorial we showed how to use the new library export functionalities in the 2022.2 software release. If you have any additional questions or topics that you would like us to cover, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you for watching.